I mean, imagine, right? And if I'm right about this, this is gonna age really, really well, but imagine if the Johan that we know as Johan, the blonde-haired kid, is actually a fake employed by the real Johan that is actually the subconscious, second personality of Tenma. Imagine, right? Couldn't be, right? Right? Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to The Monster, episode 31. It has indeed been a while. Oh, I just threw my pencil. It has been a while, but I am back. You guys been good? Okay, yeah. I hear you. But enough about me, and enough about you. Let us recap what happened in the last episode. Now, looking at my notes, right. The old guy is a badass, is what I wrote down. Last episode, we saw, Mr. Reichwein, Dr. Reichwein, be a insane badass and immediately, very quickly, rised in the ranks of my favorite character. The list of my favorite characters. And we essentially saw him being a massive badass. At the very end of the episode, it was clear that he was going to die. Now, I did predict him to die because he's an old guy, but thankfully, Tenma, Mr. Japanese Dr. Tenma, came to our rescue. And honestly, I am very glad that he did. We kind of left off where they were like pointing guns at each other, but who knows? I have this feeling like we're just gonna skip ahead to where they're like safe again, and then they're gonna have a talk. And I somehow I don't think we're going to start off exactly where we left off, but I've been wrong before. In any case, let us get right into it because I don't want to waste time.
Go on, young man, eat. This place is known for its tasty Weisswurst. Isn't it wonderful? Your name's Dieter, right?
I forgot the child existed, okay? It is what it is. I kind of wish the child didn't exist, but, it is what it is. But it's kind of like I said, I figured they wouldn't show what happened. Or maybe if they are going to flash back to it, they're probably going to show that Mr. John Roberto, right? Mr. Roberto probably just went back into the office and then went out the other way.
This place is safe. Only local folks come here.
Debatable.
And if a strange face tries to get in, our friend Otto here will show them the door.
I pulled together a bed in the attic. If you can ignore the rats, you should sleep pretty good up there.
Thanks, I owe you one.
Who the fuck is that guy?
By now I'd be dead in the morgue if you hadn't come along and rescued me like you did. I already spoke to Dr. Gillen. He was very pleased and relieved to hear that we found you. He left an ad in the local newspaper trying to contact you. Did you see it by any chance?
Let's talk about our memories of cheating.
So you did see it?
I did.
Well, then why didn't you try to contact him?
Because I didn't want anyone else getting involved.
But that's what friends are for, especially during times like these. Earlier you said you were watching over me.
That's because of the Richard Brown incident. You probably know best what happened to him. Brown was drunk when he shot down that young serial killer. And that night cost him his career and his family. As I read about the boy Richard had killed, Dieter recognized the photograph. Dieter said that boy was in 511 Kinderheim. Dieter's foster father was one of the instructors, and he kept pictures of the children that lived there.
Oh yeah, I completely forgot where this kid was from. Literally, completely forgot.
Johan used to call it home.
Huh. So you're saying
Johan.
There's a connection between Johan and the serial killer that Richard shot?
I'm not sure.
I know that until now you've been all alone out there. But now, we're gonna solve this together. We must strive to prove that you're innocent. I think I know where we can find Johan. Wait till you get a load of this. I thought I had it on me. Damn, I had a photo of Johan before. Of all the stupid, I must have left it in the office when I was attacked.
If you left that picture there, that man trying to kill you probably found it. Johan is here, and so am I. There must be a way to actually meet him, right?
Mm-hmm.
I will meet Johan, face to face.
I mean, at this point, Johan kind of probably already knows that they're very close by. So I would not be surprised if he just, I don't know, leaves. But the doctor, I would imagine, would know that Johan has been going to that, you know, what's his name? Fucking what's his name? Schuwelt, right? Or Schuwelt. As a reader, right? I would imagine so. In broad daylight.
Schuwald's the older man in the wheelchair. Carl's the young man pushing him. Now look closely.
There he is. Oh my god. They're seeing each other. Or, well, Tenma seeing him. But is it really that simple? Could it really be that simple? Is it really that simple? I wouldn't be surprised if Tenma is like, that's not Johan. But, I mean, maybe I'm thinking too far into this. Maybe, I don't know. You know, I myself have a lot of story ideas quite often, and sometimes I just, you know, I go way overboard.
Tell me, is the blonde one Johan?
That was him. There's no doubt.
Good.
Okay.
This was the first time.
Huh?
I've only seen him at night. I've never seen Johan in the daytime before. This is my only chance.
That's true. We might not have another chance to prove your innocence, but we must be judicious here.
It's not about proving his innocence, unfortunately. When he says he only has one chance, it's to kill him.
To prove you're innocent, we must be thorough and methodical.
I mean, the thing is, it's not like Tenma is actually, like, accused of being the murderer. He's just a suspect in the serial murder case. A person of interest. You know, he's not actually, like, proven to be the killer. It's just that he's connected to the murders, and and the police is looking for him, and they suspect him because he's been running away. Although, will he really only have one chance?
If we can find that prostitute far and visited, we'll be able to prove that Johan was there with him. We've got to find someone who can put Johan at the scene of the crime.
You can even see it in Tenma's eyes. You know, he's like, it doesn't matter. I just need to get close to him and I'm gonna kill him.
Johan Liebert's burial plot. We're slowly tightening the noose around this Johan character's neck. But don't despair, Tenma. You're not alone. There's Dieter, and now you've got Dr. Gillen.
Oh, great.
And I'm here as well.
Of course, the child is there. Don't remind me. I'm asleep, dreaming of a world without the fucking child.
I didn't want anyone else getting involved. This was the first time. I've only seen him at night. I've never seen Johan in the daytime before. My only chance.
Wait! Why aren't you?
I'm guessing he's putting it together.
I'll stop by later today. By the way, where's Tenma?
Tenma? Why, he's at the safe house or so, I believe.
Wherever he is, I need you to make sure that he stays put. There's an issue that's been bothering me.
He doesn't appear to want to go after Johan, in spite of the fact that doing so could prove his innocence.
But that's exactly what I'm worried about.
Huh?
It's kind of a small thing, but I feel like the need to mention it. He's not at home, right? Right? He's not at home, right? When you have a hitman hired to kill you, potentially, who snuck into your workplace, who knows your name, and can probably easily find your home address based off of your name. Like, you know? Actually, then again, is it that easy to find someone's address? I mean, he found his workplace, probably based off of the name, so... I don't know. actually, now that I'm thinking about it, it might not be that simple. Never mind.
Tenma's planning to fix it himself.
The thing is, I hope, and I mean, I say this with a lot of hope. I hope that Tenma does kill someone. Because, I'm not gonna lie, like, I really don't like the kind of plot line of like, oh, let's prevent Tenma from killing anyone because he's a good person, blah blah. Like, come on, shut the fuck up. In my opinion, the best characters are the characters that have done something bad and can learn from it. Characters that are goody two-shoes forever, essentially, they're not interesting, right? A character that is a kind person but has also done bad things for the sake of the greater good or something, like, those characters, in my opinion, are so much more interesting because they can relate to both sides of the coin. They are good people, but they've done bad things, and so they use those experiences to become a better person. Like, though, in my opinion, that's so much better than just having a character that never does anything bad. So that's why I'm kind of hoping that Tenma will kill someone. Like, for instance, right, a scenario like he meets Johan, they have like some sort of face-off, and then he kills him. Tenma kills Johan, but then finds out that wasn't actually the real Johan. It was just someone the real Johan was paying to act in his place, or manipulating to act in his place. That would be really good. That would be like amazing, because not only that, Tenma would learn from his mistakes, but he would be like, hey, I basically killed someone. Yes, that imposter probably was, evil as well, but like, still, I killed the wrong person, right? Then he would start second guessing himself, and like, he has to learn from his mistakes.
Please, you gotta stop
But
it.
this storyline of
Tenma's
like stopping Tenma from killing anyone, shut the fuck up, kid. Tenma, do it. Do it. Do it now.
At last we meet.
Ho ho ho
And who are
ho.
you?
My name is Inspector Lunge. I'm with the BKA.
Inspector Lunge and Rudy,
Actually,
eh?
I'm well acquainted with your work, Detective.
Last May in O'Dare Park, with your help, the Velber police were able to surround Dr. Tenma. They were poised to take him into custody, but at the last second, he miraculously escaped.
Well, then you must also know that the wire I was wearing malfunctioned.
It's still possible that you might have helped him to escape.
Come on. I know that Tenma is innocent.
Really?
Have an open mind and listen to me.
I think he played his card too early. I think he should have just kept going with like the I don't know anything angle for a while longer. He said that I think Tenma's innocent a little bit too early, I
The
think.
other people that were murdered in
This might
Dusseldorf.
backfire on him. Because
And the
ultimately,
murderer-
again, they have no evidence. They have nothing to prove their story. Even if they believe something. And not to mention now, Rudy's connection to Tenma also is coming into play, right? They were school friends and they both cheated and, like, they're friends and stuff.
I reached this conclusion from interviewing Dr. Tenma in person, as a criminal psychologist.
Why would he run away if he were innocent?
He is innocent.
You think so?
I have proof that he isn't the murderer you think he is. Have a look at this, Inspector. I personally compiled this analysis of all the evidence in this case.
I assume you have backups to that evidence, right? To that, collection of notes, right? You have backups, right? The thing is, Lunge, ever since that incident where he tried to capture Tenma, I don't know. At first I trusted him, now I don't. I don't trust him to be smart anymore. So I wouldn't be surprised he looks through this and then just burns it or tears it up, and then turns out, oh, he was actually hired by Johan. But again, I mean, he's, Rudy or whatever said that he has evidence, but this is not really evidence. I'm pretty sure they don't have anything. They have conjecture.
So tell me, do you understand my conclusion?
Yes. The strange death of Farin, the boy who pretended to be Shuval's son. The seemingly accidental death of ex-police detective Richard Brown, who was investigating this case. The questions and rumors surrounding Shuval's illegitimate child. There's a young man who's at the center of this entire case. When Tenma was questioned by police, he named this young man as the real murderer. Johan Liebert. While he was still alive, Richard Brown discovered a gravestone of a person with that same first and last name in Bruntal. Furthermore, someone who admitted to being a hitman tried to kill Dr. Reichwein after he picked up the investigation from where Brown had left off. Oh, I understand quite well. It's impossible to actually prove that all these separate events are connected.
So the problem I have with Lunge's, interpretation with this scenario is that you have to think of the what ifs. Even if there's no proof, what if they are right? What if Johan does exist? What if, right? You gotta think of the what ifs. And I know, police probably are told that, oh, you shouldn't work off of what ifs, right? You have to work off the facts and the evidence. But like, in a case like this, like, come on, you gotta go through some of the what ifs. Especially if there's like multiple points of interest pointing towards one person, one potential suspect. But you're like, oh, but yeah, well, they might be pointing in that direction, but there's no actual evidence saying that we have to go in that direction. It's such an annoying way of looking at things.
Oh, that's just a little habit I have. It helps me to remember important points in a case.
As a psychologist, it appears to me that your own anxiety is manifesting itself in the way you constantly do it. I do the same thing. I use my recorder instead of my hand. However, the sounds that are recorded on this device are absolutely objective. But in your case, the information that you remember when you're drumming your fingers has already been tainted by your own preset opinions. That's probably how you've always done your job, Inspector, for all these years, right up until now. You believe that your memory is correct, and that your judgment couldn't possibly be wrong. Do you have a wife or a family? Any hobbies outside your work? You live for your job, don't you? Ever made a mistake?
Ooh.
Inside, aren't you terribly afraid to make a mistake? The way you think, everything's black or white, so Tenma has to be a bad person.
Rudy's stepping up to the plate, throwing a couple of haymakers here and there. A little bit of counterattacking.
You need to look at the truth. This is a recent photograph of Johan Liebert. Can you prove all the deaths surrounding Johan is just coincidence?
The thing is, I want Lunge to be like the badass that he can be, but I don't know, he seems like such a wild card.
This young man, where would I find him?
Essentially, right, how do I explain this? He's like a very strong player in the game, but he's almost made to be an obstacle for Tenma. Instead of being kind of a third party or a neutral party who is essentially trying to get to Tenma and Johan, he's almost made to just be an obstacle for Tenma, right? So I'm hoping that he isn't just very, like Rudy said, very unable to change his mind.
I'll need to hold on to this photograph, Doctor. From this point on, let's consider this a police matter.
There's no way, right? Could it be? Is he working with Johan? The reason I say this is because that is the only other picture that we had. Bear in mind, that is the only other picture that we had. The old guy lost his picture, and I'm pretty sure this is the only other picture of Johan that we have. And now, he just takes it. I wonder why.
Yes, this is Lunge. Put me through to the Munich police. I need an emergency deployment. Dr. Tenma is somewhere in the city of Munich.
He's like, I don't know, That's kind of what it feels like to me, right? He's just kind of put there to be an obstacle for Tenma instead. In before, it turns out that he was always right, and Johan, the real Johan is actually Tenma. I mean, imagine, right? And if I'm right about this is gonna age really, really well, but imagine if the Johan that we know as Johan, the blonde-haired kid, is actually a fake employed by the real Johan that is actually the subconscious, second personality of Tenma. Imagine, right? Couldn't be, right? Right? I guess we'll see in the future.
A sniper rifle. 10,000 Deutschmarks in advance.
Here.
Your order is a little complicated for me to fill. It'll take about a week to get it. In the meantime, go get some sun. You look pale.
Chamber of Commerce in association with local business leaders. Political and business figures from all over the world are attending. With the formation of the EU, the various industries are poised to become the center of Europe's media network. This is the largest trade show, rousing applause from the attendees. Mr. Schuwald was in a wheelchair, but he appeared healthy.
Oh, fuck. Well, I don't know what to say, man. I want Lunge to be an ally, but he's made to be such an obstacle for Tenma, to the point where either he is so set in his ways, or he's right. You see, the way I work, I don't jump to conclusions, but I don't rule out any possibilities either. Even though I say that I think, Lunge is wrong, I also at the same time am wondering, what if he is right? What if he could be right? There is still the possibility that he is right. Why? Because, as I said, based off my I wouldn't say prediction, but like theory, my crazy, insane theory, Tenma's alternate personality could be secretly Johan, and he essentially just manipulates and or employs the blonde-haired kid. It is what it is. Regardless, I would imagine Tenma knows how to use a sniper rifle, but I'm surprised he's doing the sniper rifle strategy. I thought he didn't really care about getting caught at all. So I thought his whole point was, hey, I'm just gonna get close to him and shoot him. I wonder why the sniper rifle. I feel like he could just, if he wanted to, he could just walk up to, I suppose they do have security. Maybe he's cautious about that. Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll see. Tenma probably knows better. He might feel like, the security's too much, they might stop me from killing him. Sniper rifle safer. It is what it is. I hope you enjoyed episode 31, and I'll see you next time.